I just saw an episode of Game Grumps that will never leave my mind. Ever. The video was taken down immediately after I was done watching it. I just got home from a long day of work and thought, hooray, a new Game Grumps video. The title was GameGrumpsBarry.avi, which I thought was a little weird. Maybe Barry just got a little lazy or something and forgot to edit the title all the way. I didn't think too much of it. I clicked on it and it was already fully loaded as if I'd seen it already. The video length was 000, but the seek bar was non-existent. Again, YouTube has a tendency of messing up, so I blew it off. But here is where things started to get weird. The intro was very slow, like 0.2 times normal speed, and heavily distorted. Aaron and John's grunt face had no mouths and no animations. The intro lasted about 20 seconds, and I was starting to get a little freaked out by this. Maybe this was a horror game, and Barry was just setting the mood or something. At least that's what I thought. When the intro was over, there was silence for about 3 minutes. I tried skipping parts, but the seeking bar was still gone. I wanted to refresh the page, but I couldn't put myself through that intro again. After the silence, I could hear John's voice over some light static. "Barry? Barry!" he screamed. Non-comedic screaming either. I could literally feel the hairs on my arms stand up from it. It seemed like John needed Barry's help. The screen turned to Sonic 06. They were on the character selection screen, and they had just unlocked Silver because the screen was on him, displaying progress 0%. Maybe this video would get better, I thought. But it didn't. The static got progressively louder, as did John's screams for Barry, when suddenly it stopped abruptly. Now the sound was crystal clear. "Barry?" John said. There was the classic Game Grumps yellow text over Silver's saying, "I don't care, John." He started to sob nightmarishly. "Aaron, why?" The yellow text displayed, "Good. It's your turn to die now, John." The crying continued, getting worse and worse. John was crying about Aaron, who was presumably dead. The yellow text would get more and more aggressive, saying things like, "You're both worthless. It's time you died. I own this show, not you two." At this point, I wanted to turn it off, but I just couldn't. The static started up again, which distorted John's sobbing. I could distinctly hear someone open the door to the grump room. John tried to make out words, but couldn't bring himself to. The static was wearing down, and I could hear the conversation more clearly. "You pushed him, John. This is your fault. Why did you do this?" John babbled out words that I couldn't understand. I started crying myself, as if I felt his sadness inside me. His crying was so real. I knew this wasn't some prank. I started to shake horribly. "Pick up the gun, John." John cried harder. "Pick up the damn gun, John!" At this point, I was screaming at the man in the grump room. "Fine. If you won't do it, I will." The yellow text displayed, "This is my favorite part." John screamed, "Barry, no, don't!" And a loud gunshot was heard. The audio completely cut, and more yellow text appeared that said, "R.I.P. Aaron Hansen. R.I.P. John Jafari. February 2013. This stayed on screen for another 10 minutes. I sat there, completely paralysed. After the silence, the screen went black for a moment, and a picture of Aaron and John on the ground next to the grump couch faded in slowly. Aaron's face was completely covered in blood, and it looked like he was also crying. John was next to him, with a gunshot in the forehead. They both lay in a huge puddle of their own blood. The static got insanely loud to the point that I had to turn the sound off. The yellow text appeared one last time, saying, "They deserved it." I don't know what I saw, but I'm glad the Grumps are still alive.